What up, my people, and welcome back to Fox 5's Live Zone. I am Chad Ricardo in again today for my main man, Guy Lambert. We got quite a show for you all here today. I'm talking about Tailgate. Ted, Commander Superfan, will be joining us. Mark Gray of MLB Bro will be in the house as well. And Josh Robbins of The Athletic is going to stop by to talk about the Washington Wizards rookie draft class as well as the work that they've done in free agency. But before we get to any of that, we got to bring some royalty onto the show. And not just any royalty, I'm talking about the media prince himself, ready to spill the tea. Media prince, how are you doing today, brother?
What's going on, Chad? We are live in the zone.
Man, you better believe it, bro. I haven't seen you in a couple of months, haven't been on camera with you in a couple of months. I spoke to producer
right?
Emmy, and I said, Producer Emmy, please get me the media prince in here so that we can set this show off the right way.
It's good to see you, Chad.
Very good to see you as well, brother. So, look, man, now I, on Sunday night, was unable to watch the BET Awards. I was watching something else, but this has been all of the rave. Everybody is talking about that. They're talking about Ray J. They're talking about this. They're talking about that. But they're especially talking about Usher and his speech being muted during the awards. What do you have to say about that?
Well, let's just say this. They waited until Usher's speech to finally get it right with the censorship, because whoever was supposed to be backstage hitting that button when you heard profanity should be fired, because we heard profanity the entire night until we got up to Usher. And from what we see from the behind-the-scenes clips of what was said in the audience, Usher had the mouth of a sailor, too, during his speech. So I don't know if they caught wind that we probably need to put somebody else in the seat, but they definitely muted about a good 4 to 5 minutes of his speech. So and us as the viewers at home was like, well, dang, he must be saying some really bad cuss words.
Right.
But, you know, you live and you learn. We could tell they were doing mishaps, just like they mishap with Taraji not letting her know who the right guy was she was supposed to be talking to. So, you know, just little tweaks that BET should have had under control. But, hey, it's live TV, so that's what you get.
Well, here at Fox 5, and especially in the live zone, we know the way that live television can go. But I think that this brings up a larger point, right? So with that Usher speech specifically, I think that a lot of people were upset by the fact that it was muted, that it was cut short, etc. But I, too, saw a portion of that on social media. And Prince, some of that stuff really... we didn't miss a whole lot with some of that stuff. Maybe some of it should have been muted. What were your thoughts on the muting specifically?
Honestly, by that time, we watched the BET Awards with about a gallon of Casamigos. So by the time Usher's speech came, by the time he got on stage, everything was already muted to me anyway, because I was a little dazed.
Got you. I got you. I respect that. I respect that. You talked about the fact, right, that some of the other people who won awards or who were on stage, that there was some foul language that was going on there, or maybe some language that just wasn't appropriate necessarily for television. I want to ask you this on a slightly, I don't want to say serious, but a slightly provocative level. Is BET and or are the individuals who are coming up on BET, are we properly representing the culture by being that free and that loose with our words in a setting like that? Or should we feel happy that we have a place to be able to express ourselves in those ways?
You know what? When you think about it like that, you really don't know, because we're in a new arena where vulgarness is acceptable. So that's how you could act. Sometimes I scare myself because I sound like my parents. I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm getting older. Because certain things that I remember being like after 12 a.m., like that's when you could hear those type of languages on TV and things of that nature. But it seems like everything's uncut at this point. So I'm just navigating with the new world of what they're doing today. I'm still appreciative that we have BET, and I think BET also understands that the newer generation of today talks, acts, and breathes this new language. So we either have to get on board or we have to turn to Lifetime.
Man, Man. Look, I think that's a great way to say that. I would love to have an extended conversation about that at all with you, and maybe we'll have a chance to do that at some other time. But to turn the page now from entertainment, we're going to move over to sports because obviously sports are something that's always important to me. Jimmy Rollins, former slugger out there with the Philadelphia Phillies in specific, he talked about being hopeful that Willie Mays' jersey is ultimately retired. Of course, Willie Mays recently left us, one of the greatest and most influential baseball players of all time.
I think that's all. That's first of all, rest in peace. I don't really know much to say. I just think maybe the jersey should just now in his theory, is it retired on good notion, or is he wanting it to be retired just for bad things? Because I think him being one of the greatest baseball players we've seen, I think the jersey should stay as memorabilia, just to also know that dreams happen and you can make it here.
Sure. I think that kind of the notion there, I mean, when you look at a Jackie Robinson's jersey being retired, like that's something that is forever. You see that 42, you know that that's Jackie Robinson. So now here in this vein, you look at that Willie Mays and you say that this is going to be something that is bigger than baseball. The number even of itself is something that is meaningful to him, Willie, and everything that he brought to the sport.
Right. And of course, I told you we're in a new era where how they did the old retirements aren't practically maybe how they do it now.
Yeah.
So I think the jersey should stay, and I think it should just be recognized as a honorary staple of when you're here, this is what you see.
That's what's up. Certainly RIP to Willie Mays, one of the GOATs to definitely get this done. Okay, so now we will mix some sports with some entertainment here because we're talking about arguably one of the greatest Olympians of all time with Simone Biles. We're talking about SZA and the two of them sitting down and having a conversation where SZA told her that she used to, maybe not the way that Simone did it, but she did some flips. She was a gymnast in her own regard. Your thoughts on this? It's exciting.
Well, I always felt SZA had some type of gymnastics training because in her music videos, she can flip and jump into splits. Like, I'm like, okay, have you been on a balance beam before? But it was kind of cool to see her with an Olympian and like to see her like really keep up. And I will say this, no, Simone, and we know you let SZA win because we know you could stand in that handstand way longer than that. But that was nice of Simone. But I think it was a great take of seeing like entertainment mixed with sports. We're seeing it with Cardi B and Sha'Carri.
Yeah.
So it only makes sense with SZA and Simone.
That's right. And you want to talk about somebody raising their Q scores and raising their popularity. I mean, you know, if you SZA and Simone Biles on the same stage together, the world's eyes are coming in to look at that. And I don't know about you, but it is very good to hear the nation talking about Simone Biles for everything that she does, as opposed to, you know, wondering whether the conversation should be had with her and her man in terms of who caught who and who is the catch.
Well, for now, you know, they giving her some leeway for right this minute. But trust and believe, the chit-chat about her man ain't going nowhere. They just letting it die down just a little bit. So great things like this would get the distraction off. But you know the investigators of the great old digital media ain't letting that go that easy.
That's what's up. Well, I tell you what, brother, this was the way to start off the show with not just any royalty, but with the media prince in the building here today. Brother, you brought the heat as always. Thank you so very much for coming through the live zone.
No problem. I'm getting ready to go take me some shots. My birthday's tomorrow,
Woo!
So I plan to be totally inebriated once I get off of here.
Well, I tell you, text me the address, brother. I'll ask my wife for permission. Maybe I can come out for one of those. We'll see.
Sounds good.
Media Prince, thank you so very much. Coming up, digital content